You are all business, Will.
All business all the time.
Your business up front and business in the back.
Yep.
See? Welcome to the That's Good Broncos podcast. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. We've got a lot to digest in terms of we've had some time to let the Broncos loss settle. The sting isn't as sharp. We're going to pick every game as we do every week. And let me just preface the game picks with we fucking sucked last week, Will and I, on our picks. So congratulations to everyone kicking our ass in the picks. It's a pick'em league through ESPN. All $3 and above Patreon members have access to that, and YouTube members. So that's how you join. If you want to get in now, it's probably the last time to do it. 1 week you can make up for some points. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings, or I will find you and ask you why you used a different code. I'm not going to threaten you physically. I'm just going to ask you that question over and over again, and it will be really annoying. Last thing I want to say. Make sure you subscribe to Will Sucks at Games YouTube channel on the rise.
Thank you. I'm working on a video that I feel really good about right now. I'll have to get that approved by a special third party.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A sponsor, maybe?
Just maybe. No free ads, so I'm not going to say who it is right now. But it's not DraftKings.
Yeah, especially if you fuck up the ad and they don't approve your video.
Yeah, it's possible. I've never made an ad before.
No, it's easy. There's an art to it. My show is so like the setups for it so like easy and natural. But that might be a little tricky for you. I'd just try to write a segue into the ad would be.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, just do that and you'll be fine.
Cool.
And then I don't have to pay you
check
anymore.
that out. Yeah, that's how that works.
Hell yeah. Okay. There is some Broncos news. Justin Simmons suffered an injury in the game, which we didn't know about because he played through it. It's a quad injury, and it sounds like he's going to miss some time, which obviously sucks. It's one of your top players on the back end there. So is Caden Stearns gonna have to play more? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it sounds like Caden Stearns is gonna be the guy that steps in. This is obviously really weird because Justin Simmons is just like one of those guys you never even think about missing time.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of dirty almost to go out there without him. Feels unholy, unnatural.
Yeah.
But you feel good about the depth there with Stearns and then KJ and then PJ Locke because he'll get some reps now. So yeah, I feel actually pretty good. Maybe I guess Delarian Turner-Yell.
Oh, that's right.
He was activated for the first time against the Texans on Sunday.
Yeah, and he had a nice preseason. I thought he made some plays. So. Won't overreact to not having a safety in there, but it's our first piece of regular season injury news. And I'm glad I didn't say anything because I'll say that after the game, I was like, the nice thing is it sounds like everybody walked away healthy. I would have cursed myself there.
Right. We got Simmons and Quinn Miners, unfortunately, who only played 18 snaps. Yeah, it sounds like he's going to miss about 4 weeks.
Oh, damn.
But, you also have depth at guard too. That's another piece.
God, I'm so busy. I didn't even realize he was hurt.
Yeah. So we
hamstring strain. Okay.
We lost and we got out of there scathed.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this about Quinn Miners. I think he's tough as nails. And I think 4 weeks is probably a little bit of the Hackett regime being cautious with injuries because we saw one Evan Mathis, I believe, play basically an entire season with a very strained hamstring. And we learned like after that season that basically his entire leg was like black and blue from bruising like all season long. So I think that's one of the things that minors maybe can get back from early, unless they actually put him on like the pup list. Did they?
No, I don't think they did anything yet.
Okay.
I guess it would probably be IR.
Oh yeah, the
4-week
IR, the short-term IR. Sorry, there's so many lists.
A lot of lists, a lot of
you don't want to be on them.
This and that, squads, whatever.
Yep, whatever. So, what were your thoughts on Hackett addressing his kerfuffle, his gaffe?
Yeah, so his kerfuffle,
his mistake, his error.
It was an error for sure. I think that's safe to say. But I thought on one hand, kind of a lot of people saw just like the one sentence, like tweets from, every reporter in Denver. And it was, in hindsight, we should have gone for it.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch what he said, it is less backtracking. It's more like we should have gone for it because we missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Where I thought,
he explained why they went for it was my takeaway.
Yes.
In that, it seemed like he made it feel like that was the plan, was to go for that kick. Once they got to the 46, they knew they were going to go for it. And it kind of just happened that it was 4th down. So they had to go for it then instead of trying to get for, some more yards. But
yeah. And I with all that context, I understand the thought process.
Yeah.
I just disagree with the idea that 64 is your limit as opposed to the 4th and 5.
I think what he might have learned is 64 yards is not Brandon McManus's range.
No, it's like, is it possible? Sure. Yeah. It's, there's a 1 in. Well, I mean, it's hard to say because it was actually a pretty good kick.
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't I certainly still wouldn't bank on it.
No. The probability is 64 yards is really hard. Go for the one that looks easier, which is getting 5 yards on 4th down, and you were able to get, chunk yards pretty consistently.
Yeah, and I think furthermore, it's like, all right, a 64-yard field goal or a Hail Mary. Like, that's where you should think about the 46-yard line being the absolute limit. At that point, yeah, I'd probably kick a 64-yarder, although Russell Wilson does throw a nice Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And, sometimes he doesn't even need to complete it to win. But, man, I still I get the thought process. He spelled it out. That all makes sense to me. I just disagree. And that part, I'm not going to lie, it's a little concerning the way they handled that situation. I think knowing the thought process might even be worse. I think if he had just said I'm sorry, I spaced out and I fucked up, I was obviously wrong. That might be better.
I feel the opposite. I feel like he believed in McManus's gauge of where he could kick from, and they had gotten there and decided, hey, let's just let this clock run down some and let the kicker go kick the field goal from where he told me he could do it.
Yeah, that's where you have to be the coach and say,
yeah, I agree. Player. I'm saying he should have learned. If moving forward, he should know 64 is not McManus's range.
Right.
And like you pointed out in our breakdown of it, McManus made a 61-yarder against the Chargers, different conditions. It was, would have been good for maybe 62 at best. So I would say 60, in that situation, if it was 60 yards, maybe 61 again, you go for it. But outside of that, now as a head coach, now McManus tells me the 46, we need to get to the 43.
Yeah. It's obviously a player is going to have a lot more confidence in himself.
Yeah.
Like, a good player, and he's a good kicker. But yeah, that's where you need to veto that kind of
Sure. And it's
that kind
not
of
like a
reign.
kicker he's worked with for years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's learning a lot about different players, and obviously it was just preseason they had together. And as you're a new coach on a new team, working with a very high profile QB as you kind of like make an offense together, you're probably not going back watching all of McManus's performances. Like, maybe that special teams coordinator's like, hey, I think he's actually better from this range. This is kind of our max. A lot of things there, but we'll see what happens moving forward. I think, like I said on GPS this morning, I think Hackett's the type of coach who's not going to fuck up the same thing over and over again in those types of situations. And I thought there was a lot of pretty good play calling by him up until that point. So,
yeah, I mean, I like that they went for it on 4th down a couple of times. Bad result at the goal line. I think people are.
And did you hear the thing about Graham Glasgow not hearing Russ audibled to a run on the second attempt there?
Oh.
And Glasgow didn't hear that they changed from a pass to a run, so he was setting up for pass pro, and that's why the play got blown up. And Javonte ran like right into Glasgow on that second attempt and then fumbled the ball. So
actually, I didn't hear that. That makes
that to
sense.
Me was like, oh, that's he didn't hear the fucking audible. In Seattle's a place where that makes sense that would happen.
Yeah.
And to me, that's probably something that doesn't happen later down the road when the line knows the QB a little bit better, and maybe like, was Glasgow in for Miners in that situation who would maybe get more work from? So there's a lot of things that you can look at and feel optimistic about moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it'd be better to take those bumps and still climb out of there with a victory, which they should have done.
Yes.
But
God, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like totally a 1-for-1 comparison, but 2012 they started 2-3 with Peyton Manning, and they looked like dog shit against Atlanta. That game was like super concerning.
Yeah, but even that game, like, Manning made a comeback.
Yeah,
it just didn't, like, second half he was Peyton Manning, and you're like, oh, we didn't win, but we feel positive. I was like, I feel like he's going to be able to play quarterback after that game.
Yeah, and so you just have to ride out a rough stretch, and then fortunately, it's not like we're going to Kansas City next week.
No, thank
Houston
God.
And Houston. I actually watched that Houston Indy game this morning, and like, Davis Mills looked pretty sharp. I thought Damian Pierce looks pretty good too, and we'll talk about it more in the preview. But I don't know. It's not going to be an easy win. Their defense is actually pretty solid.
No, well, you know what I noticed from that game, Will, is the Colts blew a lot of opportunities as well.
Yeah,
they were a fourth and 2 on the goal line. They run some like weird wildcat play that gets blown up. Austin Doolin dropped a touchdown pass later in the game.
Alec Pierce dropped a touchdown pass.
Oh, did Pierce drop one too?
Yeah.
So it's almost identical in terms of they should have won that game. They miss a field goal in OT.
They cut Rodrigo Blankenship.
They cut him after that.
How dare they?
So, like, I think the Broncos will have a similar challenge in terms of level of competition. Doesn't mean that it's a walk in the park, but I think that the Colts kind of shot themselves in the foot as well in that game. So,
indeed,
optimism. All right, well, here are our group results for the Pick'ems. We're ranked 63 out of a possible 93 We went 6-9. Oh shit! Look at Sir Random Guy, 11-4. That is big Seahawks fan. So that's way to rub it in our face, Sir Random Guy. He's always in the Patreon Zoom hangouts. We got to schedule one of those soon, probably next week.
Yeah.
Got Kevin up there. But these are your top performers. Zach, Thomas, Aiden, Benji, Praspachi, Kurt, Jake, and then who's the bottom? Who are the bottom feeders? Jocelyn, Alvin, Dylan. And then here we are, right in the middle. We're right with Sean Parker, Zach Allen, Bomb, Trades, Crocs and Socks. So we got to improve, Will. All right, let's make our picks this week, eh?
Let's do it.
Week 2.
We have a better feel on things this week. Obviously, this is our time to get better.
Yeah.
Starts Thursday Night Football, the first Amazon Prime game ever.
Ooh.
Thursday night, at least. This is a great – I don't need to tell you, this is a great matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. What notes you got for me here?
Well, Herbert's 2-0 in Arrowhead.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He one game was like week 17 a couple of years ago, mostly against backups.
Okay.
Hey, that was a bad Chargers team. And then last year was a great game. Both their games were really good. That was week 3 where the Chargers just like kept going for it, kept getting it. And it looked like Brandon Staley was a genius. They win 30-24 in a total thriller. I'm not counting the Chargers out. They looked really, really good against the Raiders. I think the difference between playing the Chargers, playing the Arizona Cardinals, besides, a lot of things, is Vance Joseph was really dumb. And I think he saw the Chiefs offense without Tyreek Hill and said, I don't need to play the Chiefs like everybody else was last year and having success, meaning the 2 high safeties make Mahomes, dink and dunk, and then wait for him to make a mistake. He blitzed them a lot, and Mahomes is really good against the blitz.
More than anyone has ever blitzed Mahomes.
Yeah, and look what happened. 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah, my favorite part of that is Vance had a plan, and it wasn't working, and he just stuck to it.
Stuck with it. Yeah, you have to love that. So I think Brandon Staley's a lot smarter than that. I think, moreover, they don't need to blitz to get pressure. Arizona might have. You have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, and that's why you pay Khalil Mack. So
yeah,
you can just send 4 guys.
That was exactly like the point
coverage
I just made in the power rankings episodes. Like they shouldn't have to blitz, and that could be the thing that helps the Chargers hang in this one.
Totally. So I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think people assume it's going to be close, but I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I'm going to take the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, I mean,
only because I don't want us to look like idiots on the picks next week.
Yeah, it's a safe pick, and I'm not opposed to going with the safe pick.
Let's condom up this pick. I just saw the Broncos put Simmons on IR.
Oh, shit. Really?
So, yeah.
Take it back.
So it's got to be short-term IR, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Can we at least get Josie Jewell back?
And they sign Anthony Harris, safety.
Oh.
Anthony Harris to the practice squad, and they're promoting Isang Bassi from the practice squad. So, trying to find. He'll miss 4 games, so it's short-term IR. Anyway, that's what they did. Okay, Jets at the Cleveland Brownies. The Elves, the dirty little Elves.
This is the debut of their Toby Jones logo at midfield.
Yeah.
This feels like just a distraction. You know,
The
this
logo?
feels like, yeah, I think this is a team that has to do a lot of crazy shit to distract from the fact that Deshaun Watson is waiting to come back from suspension.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you do stuff like
Twitter,
this and it takes the heat off you.
Yeah, their Twitter account tweeted something like, "We don't care what any of you think about us going with Brownie the elf." It's just like, clearly, you don't care what people think about the quarterback you signed.
Yeah.
Why would you actually care about a fucking dumb little logo?
And I'm not opposed to the logo at all. Like I don't care. It's sure, why not? Try something new. Like, what do you want to trot out the orange helmet for the 75th year in a row?
Cool.
Yeah, give it a shot. As for the game, this is a good running back matchup because the Jets got a lot out of Michael Carter. The Browns got a lot out of Nick Chubb. They're both over 6 yards per carry. But the Jets fell behind against the Ravens, and they're in a position where Joe Flacco had to throw the ball 59 times.
Oh, I didn't see that from week 1. That's a nice stat.
Yeah, I mean, these are two quarterbacks that you don't necessarily want starting. The Jets got in a place where they're down. They had to throw it almost 60 times. And the Browns, they got the lead early. And obviously this is against two different caliber teams, the Ravens and the Panthers. But they have a formula, run the ball early, get the lead. Jacoby Brissett only had to throw like 24 times or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think out of these two teams, the Jets, they're going to they're going to fall behind, I think, in this one and probably throw the ball a lot, whereas the Browns are more suited to surviving a backup quarterback. And they're at home, and they're 6-point favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, we'll go with the Browns. I don't think it's as clear as 93-7. I like the Jets defensive front. I just hate Joe Flacco as your quarterback, so I would take, if I had to pick between Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco, I'd take Jacoby.
I agree with that.
All right. Commanders versus Detroit Lions. The so close Lions.
Yep.
The Lions will and can almost win we lost Lions.
So this is I just want to say this really quickly. The Lions are favorites in this game.
Ooh.
They haven't been favorites in something like 26 games, 25 games, something like that. So it's been a really long time. I don't know if they should be favorites, but
I think I would favor them. I mean, I want to pick them here, and it's because they put up 181 rushing yards week 1 against the Eagles. And the Eagles are like a weird team in terms of, I think they're just a tough football team to beat because they rushed for over 200 yards. They had 4 different people score rushing touchdowns. Philadelphia did. And I felt like it took, like, Jared Goff. He's always like going to be Jared Goff, where pretty good, going to make 1 or 2 mistakes, but he threw a pick 6 in this game. That was really the difference. If he has take away that one throw, we're talking about the Lions getting the win that week. I think Carson Wentz's performance was a bit of a fluke. He started off hot. He threw a couple picks. He gave the Jags a chance to win that game, and then they had to dig themselves out of a hole, and they ultimately won. I like some of the pieces for Washington. I thought their defense played pretty good, but I want to go Lions. Give me a reason not to if you want.
Oh, I'm not going to use my veto on Carson Wentz. I'm not doing that. Let's go with the Lions.
That's like if you had a hall pass in your marriage and using it so you could just...
Yeah, like on, Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, I was going to say Roseanne. So we were both thinking of a rose.
Kiss from a rose.
All right. Lions?
Lions. Let's do it.
Someone say lines? Hold on.
Where are you going with that? I see.
Betting lines.
Betting lines, yeah.
That's how you write a segue on improvisation. Will, we got DraftKings Sportsbook sponsoring this show again. God dang it. I've got too many tabs open. Where is my DraftKings? Oh, there it is. That's exactly what DraftKings pays me for. It is week 2 of football. All right. DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And for week 2, you're getting just the primoest of offers. New customers, you can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. All right. It's code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings. But here's the better part. If you want more action, everyone, not just new customers, but everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. This Sunday, bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team eventually loses. So think about a team that's really good at blowing leads, and maybe that's the bet you want to do there. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum and age eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes below for details. All right, Willie. Big Willie style, back in the picks like we never left him.
We really picked up where we left off last year.
Yeah. Okay. 80% are favoring the Bucs over the Saints.
That's kind of dumb. I think that's kind of dumb, honestly, because the Saints, more than anybody else, have the Buccaneers number.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time these teams played, let me check. It was, the Saints won 9-0. I think, was it Trevor Siemian who started that game?
I think Simeon started. I don't know if he finished, though.
Yeah.
Maybe he did.
Who knows?
He got hurt at some point. I definitely feel like they had to use Taysom Hill a little bit in that game, but who knows? Yeah,
well, they used Taysom Hill pretty well last week.
He's the only part of their offense that was really working in the first half.
Yeah, and then Jameis got it going. He had a good connection with Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry had 114 yards. Suddenly we went from like their receiver core sucks. We have no idea about Olave to Olave looked pretty good. Landry looks awesome. Michael Thomas scores 2 touchdowns in his return. Suddenly it goes from a weakness to maybe this is going to be a strength. Whereas the Bucs, Julio made a great catch deep down the field. So did Mike Evans on that touchdown. But Chris Godwin's still questionable. Brady just looked kind of pedestrian.
Yeah, I thought that too, and I said it on GPS. I don't know if Tom really agreed with me or not, but I thought he looked very average. I don't know if he'll look that way again this week. And his one pass where Julio made that really good catch, apparently that was Tom Brady's longest pass, air yards as a Buccaneer. And he tried to do it again, and he kind of missed. He was a little short to Julio. I think the Buccaneers defense would be the reason they win this game. They were really good, and Atlanta put up 200 rushing yards on the Saints. That would be my concern. You're going to assume, though, that the Saints defense kind of bounces back, maybe has a little bit more dominant performance against the Bucs. I don't know why you'd think that, except they've been really good in the past. If they struggled with the Falcons, what's going to happen if the Bucs get rolling? And I think it's going to be, I think the Saints line is not very good right now without Armstead and Penning, who's hurt. So I want to believe that the Saints are going to win this. I think it'll be close, but I'm leaning towards Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down to go with Tampa.
And it's solely the defense.
Solely the defense.
Yeah. Shaq Barrett was the one who hurt Dak. So, just thought I'd point that out.
At least the Cowboys aren't on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football.
No,
we had 4 primetime games this week, and they're kind enough not to put the Cowboys on any of them.
Apparently, they're America's game, though, for the afternoon slot.
Yeah, but like Titans-Giants was America's game of the week last week. It really doesn't mean anything.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, look at this.
Speaking of the Giants.
The Giants, the Panthers are – more people are taking the Panthers here, 55% over the Giants. Ooh, I don't agree.
I want the Giants. They looked very frisky last week. They had a lot of juice. Dable seems like the man.
Yeah.
Saquon got going. 18 for 164 and a touchdown, plus that big 2-point conversion. The Giants played the Panthers last year, beat him 25-3. And look, I mean, both these teams, their games went down to a last-second field goal. Browns made theirs. Randy Bullock missed his.
Yeah.
I still like the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants, 238 rushing yards, most in the league week 1.
Yeah.
So, let's go with the Giants. I want to see what Dable does week 2. I was not impressed really with anything the Panthers did. So, Steelers, Patriots. Look at this. When's the last time 25% of the people, well, probably the playoffs when the Patriots had to face the Bills, but this is a lopsided pick between two teams that I'm not sold. Either one's very good right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that is like shocking for me to see is obviously it's weird to see these two teams and not think Big Ben and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But when was the last time a Patriots Steelers game wasn't an afternoon or a night game? This is a 10 a.m. game or 11 a.m. for you guys. This is just another red zone game.
Yeah, that post QB life is rough for. It doesn't matter who the organization is.
Oh yeah, and so T.J. Watt's out. Najee Harris questionable. Not that he was any good when he was in. Mitch Trubisky, like he salvaged things with that last drive, and he was really good on that last drive. Still only 5 yards a pass.
Oof.
He was, you can't pull him because he got the win, but
it's like
he just wasn't like great. He wasn't bad either.
They play action him much in that game?
I'd have to take a closer look.
Yeah, I can't there's so much football happened.
Yeah.
And all I remember from this game is, all the turnovers and
the Bengals having the ball essentially.
Yeah, it's like I think you got to play to Mitch's strengths, and I don't know if they did that or not. So forgive me if they don't, but oh man, the Patriots look pretty bad this week too. Mac Jones, I guess he got hurt with some back thing, but he should be all right. They couldn't run the ball against Miami. Miami's defense looked pretty good against the Pats. Ugh, who do I want in this game? It's like I feel like the Steelers because they're at home, but
I think the Patriots bounce back.
Let's go that route. I feel good about that.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't want to take too much out of a week 1 game. They did look bad, but they always look bad in Miami. Yeah. Miami's just got them figured out for some reason.
Yeah,
we might look stupid with this one, but that's okay. The TJ Watt thing is really huge, though.
Yeah, it's arguably the best defensive player in the league. They do like Alex Highsmith is good at getting to the QB,
you'll probably see a lot more Malik Reed now.
Yeah, Cam Hayward, you like him? Oh yeah, Malik Reed. So, we'll go with the Patriots. Colts, Jags, 89% on the Colts here. Jags were not great, but they looked better than last year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so the big the Jags got flamed for two things this offseason. Christian Kirk giving him all that money.
Yeah.
Say what you will. He had over 100 yards in his debut as a Jaguar. Trayvon Walker, the first overall pick. He kind of got killed for that. He had a sack and a pick in his debut.
Yep.
We've got a long season ahead, but good early returns for those guys.
Good start.
And then you have a coach that's willing to give it to James Robinson. And obviously a coach on the other side that's willing to give it to Jonathan Taylor like 30 times.
Yeah, it took a while too, but then he finally got going. I wasn't sure if how healthy James Robinson was yet, but stick with him.
Yeah, and Travis Etienne, he was wide open for a touchdown early in that game against Washington. And that was brutal, seeing guys that played in college together not be able to hook up for a touchdown there. That was a tough look.
Did they drop? Was that the one he dropped, or was it not? Was he overthrown?
I think there's one where he's overthrown.
That said, I'm going to pick the Colts.
Yeah, I'll take the Colts as well.
Yeah, all their missed opportunities.
The Jags beat the hell out of them last time, week 18, but Carson Wentz.
It's Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, just like Russ Wilson and Peyton Manning. Give Matt Ryan a little time to adjust to this new setting. I'm not saying he'll be as good as either, but Okay, Dolphins Ravens. Ooh, this should be a little closer in my opinion, because Dolphins just put a hell of a defensive performance together against, a Belichick team. The Ravens didn't play their best football, but they worked the Jets. So that's what's kind of scary there. Not great rushing, but I thought Lamar was effective passing, and I thought Duvernay and Bateman both catching touchdowns, 2 for Devin Duvernay, kind of helped spell one of the other notions that like Lamar Jackson can only throw to his tight end. So I'll probably lean towards the Ravens in this game.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that still thinks at this point that Lamar Jackson's not a good passer is really just a fucking
idiot.
moron.
I'm just going to say fucking idiot.
Yeah, just a dunce, really. Playoffs, we can talk about it, sure. But he's awesome. He's really good. And he did all that while, the Ravens came out and they had the third worst rushing performance of any team last week, which is surprising, obviously, for a team that's their identity. That's their strength. The Dolphins, you hire Mike McDaniel. He's supposed to be this rushing guru. They had the 5th worst rushing offense from week 1. So you expect both of those to get better. The fact that the Ravens were as good as they were without being able to run the ball is kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I will take the Ravens.
Yeah, we'll take the Ravens. Let me see here. Yeah. The Dolphins, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Alec Ingold, and Tua all had rushing attempts in that game. So definitely felt like a 49ers sort of game plan there, just without any of the runs breaking. Falcons Rams. Oh, man, people looking for the Rams to bounce back big.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Like, how much do you have to say? The Falcons actually surprised. I mean, Drake London looked really good. Cordero Patterson and Marcus Mariota combined for 192 on the ground, whereas the Rams couldn't run the ball at all.
Yeah, they never gave it to Cam Akers.
They never, except for like throwing the ball like 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage to him, probably more than that. And the big thing is they're not playing the Bills this week.
Correct.
And the Bills are really good,
as we learned. I look for the Rams to bounce back. Let's see here. Seahawks, Niners. Oh, look at that. 78 picking the Niners. I concur.
Yeah.
Second half. 44 total yards of offense for the Seahawks, 31 passing from Geno. It got lost, but the Broncos defense
Really
played
clamped.
a very, very good second half. The offense just couldn't convert. So,
yeah, I mean, good.
Seattle,
like obviously good for Seattle. That was a huge game for them. And they came out and they looked electric. The crowd was incredible. Held on at the end. But your quarterback's still Geno Smith.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sold on like Trey Lance, but
no, but like, I mean, I just think it's dumb to come to any conclusion really about the game that was like you couldn't see the lines on the field.
It was a swamp.
It was a swamp. It might rain in Santa Clara too, though.
Ooh.
But it's not going to be as bad as last time. I think the 49ers get it done. We had a lot of nasty Seahawks fans in our mentions and our comments. So all I have to say is fuck you guys.
This is the Broncos revenge game. Broncos fans watching from a distance. Go Niners. Bengals Cowboys. Pretty easy. 91% taking the Bengals. Cowboys will be starting Cooper Rush. I think Micah Parsons probably has about 5 sacks in this game, but the Bengals still win.
Yeah, give me the Bengals.
Broncos Texans. Oh, I don't like how confident people are in the Broncos here. 96%. Damn. 96%. 96. You can't tell me that there's not like more than 4% of overly optimistic Texans fans out there.
I don't know. Like the Texans do some things well. Like I think Lovie Smith is going to put together a pretty good defense. Davis Mills it always sounds like an insult, but he's going to be like an upper echelon game manager.
Yeah.
So I think is a good thing. They signed OJ Howard like a few days before the game. He caught 2 touchdowns.
Did he have 2 touchdowns?
He had 2 touchdowns.
Damn.
Yeah. I hated so much punting the ball there on 4th down with 30 seconds in overtime. Nathaniel Hackett really bailed out Lovie Smith.
He did.
As far as I can't call him an idiot, but he was just a coward there. Like, you're the Texans. Like, play for the win. Like, that's just kind of that was dumb to me.
That would be a good segment for Monday is the cowardly calls of the week. Or even for the Tuesday recap.
Yeah, I think so. Lovie Smith might show up on that list quite a bit.
Who?
Lovie Smith.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, but I like our boys here.
Home game.
Home opener.
Russ is going to have the crowd cheering for him instead of booing him. I think just even if the Broncos still make some mistakes, they're not going to be as egregious, I believe, this week. And a couple of those touchdowns are going to actually happen. They move the ball well. It's going to pay off. Cardinals Raiders. Cardinals look like one of the worst teams in the NFL opening week. Their offense was lackluster. Their defense was horrible. But you expect the Cardinals offense to be able to hang with a good team because you have Kyler and I know DeAndre Hopkins is out and I would have expected the Chiefs to win that game, but I'm lower than I thought I would be on the Cardinals and I want to take the Raiders here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the Raiders. The Cardinals really just not good at wide receiver. Like their leading receiver was some guy named Greg Dortch.
Oh yeah.
Who I had certainly never heard of.
No, because I tried to live stream that game and I was like, who is this Dortch guy? And then it kept going to him and it just became like, I love Greg Dortch.
The Dortch man.
The Dortchinator.
Yeah, so hey, maybe he's good. I will say this is a special game for us. We've got the 2 worst coaches in of our lifetime facing off against each other. Vance Joseph's defense against Josh McDaniels' offense.
Wow, what
that's
poetic
great. I will say about the Raiders, like, what did we think about their concerns going into the season? Was their offensive line sucked, and their defensive backfield sucked, and those
outside of Nate Hobbs,
those both turned out to be really true.
Yeah,
it's like Devontae Adams is going to be awesome. No shit. You still got sacked 5 times, led to Derek Carr throwing 3 interceptions. Cool. Like, that's great that you traded for Devontae Adams. Wide receiver was not the problem last year.
No.
So what can you say? The Raiders have massive deficiencies, and it showed up against a good team in the Chargers. But yeah, home opener for the Raiders. I think they'll find a way to get it done. Close game though.
Ooh, Chandler Jones revenge game.
It's true.
See, and that was the thing. Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, 0 sacks too against the Chargers. So
that Chargers offensive line is really good.
Yeah, I think they'll get to Kyler, specifically Max Crosby. Chandler Jones, like, the Broncos were in on him, but like, more than half of his sacks from last season came in one game, right? So, like, I don't know where he is as a consistent, pass rusher.
Yeah, they opted for pressures over sacks.
Yeah,
with Gregory. So we'll see how that plays out in the long run.
All right. And then we got Bears, Packers. This the Sunday night game?
Sunday night.
Dang. Interesting. Bounce back game for the Packers. 84% taking Green Bay. Obviously, hard to get a read on the Bears, just as it was for the 49ers because of the field. I think the Bears might have a decent defense, though.
Yeah, I still don't want to take away too much from that game. Although I think this is a great opportunity for Justin Fields to build off of a win against a good team, or at least against a good defense. This is I'm torn between whether this is a time to take advantage of the Packers, or you're running into the Packers at the worst time because they're coming off that week 1 loss, and they're not desperate, but like, they know that they need to right the ship fast. But the chemistry thing with the wide receivers is like, that's huge. That's really big.
That is huge. I think the Bears, like the Raiders, their glaring hole was also offensive line. In addition to, you have quarterback questions, but Alex Leatherwood, who they signed over from the Raiders, apparently has mono. So not that they were really, I don't even know if he played last week, but he has mono. It's just an interesting thing now that another NFL player has mono. Tevin Jenkins hasn't been working out for them. And I think they might be competitive with Green Bay for the first half of this game, but I feel like things are going to start to click for the Packers. Maybe they get Alan Lazard back. I don't know where his injury status is yet, but I don't really care. Packers are going to win.
Yeah, I'll go with the Packers. When was the last time the Bears beat the Packers at Lambeau?
I don't know.
I don't know when the last time it happened. It just doesn't happen very often.
The Ditka days.
Probably Ditka.
Probably some weird Cutler game, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Bills, Titans, Vikings, Eagles, Monday night, double. Bills is easy for me. I think the Titans will be a worthy opponent, but they couldn't close the deal this last week. Ryan Tannehill played pretty good. Derrick Henry was good, but he wasn't like Derrick Henry is controlling this entire game.
Yeah, it didn't look quite like Derrick Henry yet, which I don't know.
Usually takes a week anyway, so maybe.
Usually takes a week. I think that it just feels like kind of a regression here for the Titans after making the playoffs 3 years in a row. Yeah. They did play last season on Monday Night Football, and the Titans won 34-31. Josh Allen got pressured 3 times against the Rams, a team with Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, like for a Titans team that, they have Bud Dupree, but
Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have Harold Landry this year. Jeffrey Simmons is going to have to make a big impact on the inside.
And I think the Bills, it's not like they just outblocked the Rams. Their game plan was to get rid of the ball quickly to kind of avoid the pass rush. And I thought Josh Allen did a good job sticking to that. And like for the first time we saw him play like really sort of reserved, smart football until like the fourth quarter when they just started to pick them apart deep. But I think they kind of have a recipe to beat the Titans based on what they did. And they have extra rest, 10 days of rest. I believe the Bills are the best team in the NFL, and I don't think they're going to disappoint.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills. I really don't like this at all. This is a weird schedule that we've got from ESPN where the Bills start early and then an hour later the Vikings and the Eagles kick off.
Yeah.
I just don't get this. Like, what the fuck? Like,
why wouldn't you start one game like 2 hours early and then start the other one later?
I guess it's because they're both East Coast games, or maybe they didn't have a choice. But like, people would still watch. They'd find a way to watch if you started this game at like 3 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon. Like, people are still showing up to Buffalo on a Monday. I guess, this would be a good time to break out double TVs if you're able to do that. But otherwise, like, I hate it. Stupid. Dumb. Week 2. I don't know why. They're going to do this a lot more in the future.
Oh, cool. So
hopefully this backfires for them ratings-wise. But I like the let me look at my notes. My notes don't really tell me anything. A.J. Brown was awesome last week. Justin Jefferson was awesome last week. Eagles ran the ball really well. I think these are 2 good teams.
Yeah, I did too.
It's kind of like this is a coin flip for me.
I'm really high on the Eagles, so I'm just going to pick them.
Okay. Yeah, tiebreaker for me, I should have thought about this. Kirk Cousins on primetime.
Oh, yeah. How did we not factor that in?
That is the tiebreaker for me.
Negative 1,000 points for Kirk Cousins. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because the number 1 and number 2 receivers for yards going head-to-head in this game. Yeah,
like A.J. Brown must have had did anybody else catch a pass for the Eagles?
Devontae Smith did not.
Wow.
Dallas Goedert had 5, I think.
Okay.
But
so he was their offense, at least passing-wise.
Yeah.
Good pickup.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will just be able to run the ball against the Vikings, so we'll see. All right. Those are our picks for week 2.
That's our picks.
Okay, well, you guys made it through the episode. Good luck on your picks this week. Patreon, YouTube, memberships. That's where the link to the Pick'em League is. And Will Types of Games. Subscribe or don't.
Yeah.
But do.
Maybe.